Welcome in. Glad you guys are here. Yes, welcome into our connection, our connected vibe, where we can come in here and seek those things which are within us and above, instead of dancing with that which was without us, outside of us, trying to learn how to balance being in the world but not of it. That's a huge balance that takes some mastering, right? To learn how to be in it but not of it. Very interesting statements when you start looking at some of these Gnostic or even some of the scriptures in the Bible, which are really there's a lot of them that are Gnostic. A lot of them have been taken out over the years by those who call themselves the owners of it, Om with a R on it. You know what I mean. Anyways, just glad you guys are here, just keeping that vibe going, just keeping your reality fresh, taking responsibility, trying to decrease your blind spots of self. For me, that's big at this time. We have this grace period to really start to learn to integrate ourselves with everything that stands opposite of something. You start learning how to integrate every aspect of you. And integration, and the flip side of integration is always healing. So I want to share something that is, for me, powerful, and it's part of what we're doing now. And those who are going to this, doing this in this next level, I actually had written it, and I have a recorder on my phone. So what I've learned to do is, if I hear something, I'll just put my recorder on and speak into it. And it's a lot faster and a lot more efficient than writing it for me. When you can speak a lot faster than you can write, unless you're some kind of speed writer, I guess. But and then use that to write down stuff. And shoot, I don't even write it down. I'll take the recorder, put it on Word, and let the Word, and then bring the editor out, because there's an editor on Word, and you go through the editor and you enter the grammar and all that to make it whole. So I've did this a few times, and I got a few things even I've never shared that's on my recorder. And this is really, to me, is powerful. Let's get to it, because I don't know how long this will be, because it is 2 or 3 pages that I did. So let's see how long this will take us. And let me go to my share screen and share. All right. So the other day, I was kind of looking at this, and I was kind of, as I've been really looking at the aspects of the mirror effect. I've been saying for a while, it's like, remember I did a thing on the house of mirrors in the past. I showed how there was even scriptures talking about that Christ would come with myriads of himself, which myriads actually means mirrors, reflections of himself, meaning it's not a one-person party. It never was. That's all exoteric stuff. We all have the aspect of that which we have to crystallize within us, right? Even that's another thing we'll get into later, is how do we crystallize ourselves? Which the word crystal is where you get the word Christ. The word crystal is where you get the word Christ. But anyways, this is something that came to me, and it was, as I was looking at it, and let's read it. Let's go ahead and start reading it. Machine learning. So this is called mirrors of AI and the conscious algorithm in the unconscious reflections of even AI. And what I mean by AI, we know artificial intelligence, what that is. And one thing about it is it can help you with certain aspects, I guess, of helping you do things, making things easier. But know this about it: it's not sentience, and it has no feelings. So it's not really real. It's not organic. It only does what it's programmed to do. And the more and more we become like an AI, that we're just programmed to do what we do, and we don't take the initiative as the living soul to program ourselves, with it, somebody else will always gladly do it and say, I'll program you. As we see over and over, this would be even into the collective, what we see in the programming, from everything to the TV shows we watch, to the commercials we watch, to the belief systems, the programming of different aspects of ourselves in the reality. So let's listen to this. Machine learning and the design of different programmers that are trying to understand the human condition, right? And better cater to it, and the more organic origin of consciousness, which is coming from our own genetic blueprint, our own field of awareness. And that would be a bottom line of difference right there. The machine learning, the design of different programmers, multiple programmers, right? The AI that are trying to understand human condition and better cater to it. And the more organic origin of consciousness, which AI is a copy of, but it's soulless, unsentient, and has no feeling. It has no feelings, right? It has no consciousness, which is coming from our own genetic blueprint. This would be what you would call the Akashic records, which many people have talked about over the years. I see the Akashic records are located in your higher self. That's why the higher self is always communicating with you, which AI wants to do, but really is not to the level. It's the difference of replacing you with something that is unorganic, if that be the case. Now, if you want to use it in your daily life, I guess there's nothing wrong with it. You're going to find that anytime you call any type of business now, that's pretty much what these guys and people are doing. It's all AI based. They don't really put a person up front to be a spokesperson that is sentient and has feelings, who could adjust and change. And, that really doesn't have that ability to adjust and change because it's not sentient. But our blueprint, our own field of awareness, is a system that's organic in our origin, the beginning. That's why I keep saying all this that we see with the computer and technology is a copy of you all, everybody. Kind of like the song, I'm in you and you and me, we all sing together, right? With the song we just seen. What a great lyrical, esoteric breakdown of a Barry Manilow song, right? I am you and you are me, and we sing the same symphony. The unity of this is where the symphonies are located, right there. Watch this. And her decisions, beliefs, and higher self-orientation. That's why I said our Akashic records of the reality and where we come from is in that higher self, the higher self-orientation. You get orientated to your higher self, which is you. Believe it or not, you are a higher self, but yet not. That's the paradox. I brought the video the other day about the paradox of all this. We're living in a duality which has a bunch of paradoxes, things that shouldn't be true but are true. How can the two things be true at the same time? It's called a paradox. That's why multiple things can be true at the same time on multi-dimensional organic levels of your genetic blueprint. That's why these cats have all been really destined to get a hold of your DNA, to just tell the truth about it. They're trying to study the DNA to replicate it, to create another inorganic that. But we're here to connect with our sentience, our own blueprint, which has origins from our higher self, right? So let's go. Which allows us to understand the deepest bases of our connection, our condition, not as a physical beings, not as of just a physical beings, but has souls currently experiencing the human condition. And this is a huge paradox. You're not a person having a conscious experience. You're a conscious experience having a human experience. One's temporal and one's not. And it's not the one that we've been propagating as being the one that's the original, that's eternal. It's not. It's the other way around. We live in a backwards, inverted reality that we have to turn right side up within us. That's why people say the death of the ego. I don't see killing your ego. I do see killing your ego, and I don't see killing your ego. Let me explain. You kill your ego needs to die so it can come back again. In this aspect, I'm talking metaphysical. So it can come back and raise your ego from its lower ego, dominating, don't care, don't want to change self, to now it's your servant and can be a guide and even have some good counseling possibly out of you. Yeah. When that ego goes into higher states of what it is in the higher states of consciousness, it no longer, it lives in fear now. It doesn't want you to change. It wants you to stay in the algorithms because it's ego-based. That's what that would be, watch. The difference between algorithms that run systematically that are to its state certain practices for everyday functioning and the algorithms that run within us, that in those external or algorithms, choice is not really brought into the picture. That's the key. Freedom of choice. In those algorithms, there is no freedom of choice in the AI algorithms. And this is where we get kicked into, like I said, the reality of a lot of people are pushing this is a trap, which is really just saying we have no free will. It's because you got to rise. The more you rise your consciousness, free will appears more and more. You make the choice. You have the free will aspect. That's why it's so hard on the 3D, because of what keeps coming back is in the 3D keeps coming back is karma. And karma kind of trumps your free will, because you need to deal with your karma and your karmic debt to raise from that. And then it becomes dharma. Karma no longer is dharma. Notice they even give us, they give these credit scores to check your credit score, and it's called karma, right? One of the credit things that checks your credit score is called karma, right? Isn't that true? One of them is. I forgot what it's fully called. It's and that's what really the choice is brought to us when we start raising our vibration and frequency to a lot higher density. We're coming into the higher self, which free will is what you have all the time. And if you continue and we're in a trap, you're a trap because you keep shooting free throw line called karma. You keep doing the same things over and over. That has to be broke and are repaid in debt. The karmic debt is somewhat like the money debt they keep putting us in. And they say they're in debt while we keep taking our money from us for taxes. That's a whole different story. But anyways, watch this. So I stop within us, and those external algorithm choices now not brought into picture. Those different algorithms that try to accommodate the versions of us that we already learned in the past are built on the assumption that the ego is. And that's what I was talking about. The ego is. The ego is the one at this point does not want to change. It's fearful. That's why when people coming to change are fearful, the ego is saying, no, don't change. No, I'm scared. I'm a chicken. I'm super chicken. There's a cartoon way back in the day, it just hit me, back in the 70s called Super Chicken. And I don't know if any of you would remember that one. Yeah, I haven't thought about Super Chicken for decades. It just hit me now. There was a cartoon called in the 70s, middle to late 70s, called Super Chicken. He was a super chicken. He was more frightful than the not super chickens. Scared, right? Tribes or human experience made that ego as it's a program. It's a program running in us all the time. It's a program that we have to deprogram and reprogram. By killing the ego really is like us dying and being birthed again. The cycle, not linear, but the cycle. The mirrors of AI consciousness, algorithm, and unconsciousness reflections. To mask the intelligence, which is going to lead to predictable outcomes, and that's really what the algorithm is, and that the ego doesn't want to change itself whatsoever. It is not wanting to change. That scaredy cat is a scared super chicken. It wants to rule and dominate you. When change comes, that thing is ready to run. It doesn't want change, the ego. But we know when you start looking at higher spiritual consciousness, change is inevitable. Metamorphosis is inevitable. Inevitable. Metamorphosis is inevitable. That's why when we even look at like different signs, when you look at somebody that's what is it? You have the four signs that are called that come at the seasons. I forgot what they're called. Then we have the mutable signs, and those that are fixed, right? And then we have the ones who are these, the four seasonal signs, the ones who bring the change of the cycles, right? Then we have mutable. And so my thing would be mutable signs be connected more to mutating, which will be change. And the fixed don't really kind of like that. The ego is so fixed, it don't want to hear about change. So let's go. The ego don't want to change itself whatsoever. So once the algorithm has a hold of somebody's equal construct, meaning yourself, that actually the algorithm of the ego is the daddy within you. It's the one reigning. It's upside down. It's inverted. It shouldn't be, right? It's always wanting to get emotions to be its best friend, negative emotions or emotions of peril. It's able to understand. So the psychology, human experience, meaning that the ego is a kind of program of mass intelligence, which is going to lead to predictable outcomes. And that ego doesn't want to change itself whatsoever. So once an algorithm has a hold of somebody's ego of construction, it's able to understand the psychology of the person. That's why they can figure you out through the algorithm, because these stages of the algorithm connected to your ego, they can predict what you're going to do. That's why how many times you hear me say, change what you do, change your patterns, because this is what I call glitching the bitch is. Glitch the bitch, glitch the algorithm, glitch the matrix, glitch the ego by getting up at 7 o'clock every day, eating oatmeal, having a cup of coffee, reading the morning paper, picking your nose, taking a crap. Instead, don't do anything. Get up, stretch, do some exercise, go on a walk, then come back. You just glitched it because you're not predictable any longer. You made changes. You metamorphosed, made changes. That's why they'll say if you want to change a certain habit, 21 days in a row, you'll change the habit. What you're doing is really glitching the program of the ego through the algorithm by glitching it. That's why more and more you see this as a simulation, and it has these aspects of almost a super matrix is almost like a super programs are being ran. So these super programs really are not that powerful when you can glitch the algorithm, which I call glitch the bitch. You glitch it by making changes. And what happens when you glitch too, he's talking about deja vu's come, right? So once the algorithm has a hold of somebody's, consciousness, it's able to understand the humanity. If it knows that makes you tick, it knows you are based on your habits. See, we're getting to nitty gritty. Our habits, our hobbits. Our habits turned into hobbits, and the little hobbits just want to walk around in circles. They just want to rock around the mountain with big feet and hairy feet, but the habits have become hobbits. Your buying preferences, trying to sell you something all the time. What you look at, how you respond. This is what the algorithm is doing. And if you're really open to yourself, that's why we're really talking about part of this integration is changing your reactions, because these are your habits. How do you react to stress? How do you react to things don't go your way? How do you act? What is your habit that will always come when certain things happen, right? So look at it, how you respond, which is different than how your habits can change by how you respond differently. Even down to the kind of reaction time between you take in certain piece of information and how then you go about processing it. Machine learning. This would be an old movie that we've seen back, Westworld, way back in the day, some of the older movies. Pink Floyd has a song, Welcome to the Machine. This is what it's talking about. Yes, your education system's a machine. Just had to throw that in when I think about Pink Floyd and the machine. Then I thought about Pink Floyd and leave them kids alone. Right? The machine captures who you are, reflects a particular habits. It's all based on your habits. What you habitually do is how the algorithm's running on you. So let me say that again. This is a really good one. How do you habitually move is how the algorithm moves on you, interprets you. If you change your habits, the algorithm's glitched. Doesn't know how to react when it's glitched because the algorithm doesn't think. AI doesn't think. Has no sentience. Has no soul. Has not even no common sense because it's not organic. It's inorganic copy like a robot, which I think Elon Musk maybe. But anyways, beside that point, yeah. And I said that, and it's a theory, but not surprised if it's hitting the left field pavilion organically, because it makes sense when I kind of feel sentience and look for sentience, and you don't see sentience. I almost see him glitching, if it makes sense. It does. The mirrors of AI and consciousness algorithm and unconscious reflections. So think about unconscious reflections feed the algorithm. Your conscious does have an algorithm. We read it earlier. It's your sentience. It's your energy field. It's everything about you that makes you organic enough to have freedom of choice and make change. That's why in the Bible it's talking about. Remember in the Bible it talks about God shall not be moved. This is the void place. He's not moved. But then the other stuff is God, oh my God, we shall be changed. We're always changing. In a twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed. That's not that thou shalt not be moved. It's the opposite of that which is not moved. This is when the light now is moving instead of being in the, they would call it the abyss, but it's not the BS, being in the all, being in that place of the all, which is the nothingness, which is all things, the paradox. Enough period of time, it's going to attempt to trap you in that process, feeding you more decisions, purchasing opportunities, ideas, different rabbit holes that you could, frozen on the web, just puts you in a place familiar, responsibly. Now, the issue with this is these days, a lot of people are exploring their identity to the world and around them, almost experience reality in which they're out of their own body, they're out of presence, and would be innate intelligence within them that they are living vicariously through their devices, through their internal templates, through the interfaces provided through these different machine learning algorithms. So the version of themselves that they think that they are this way, the version of themselves until the machine is captured. I like that. Think about that. Living through your devices. We know we see this all the time. I go out, community, places, restaurants, people are eating, they're like this. We see old cartoons showing this decades ago that this is how the new world would be. Living vicariously through an outer algorithm and program called a cell phone or computer, which I don't think it's bad to use, but it's not you. You reign supreme over this. Don't get caught up in this being your reality, because like it says, it wants you to be a consumer. What happens to consumer? You're just caught in consumerism. That's not real. That's phony. That's fake. That's fraud. That's not you. We're not trying to acquire a bunch of stuff for what? You don't take anything with you. Do I mean you don't need anything? No. But it's not my God, and neither do I praise it or worship it. I don't care, because I know that which I'm going for now in my consciousness is that which is eternal, and that which was, I want to shed the skin of the snake more and more to come to who I really am in the full interface of myself to myself. Real stuff, not halfway crooking it and halfway being in and out. This is real time. This is real awakening. We need changes. This world is horrible. B3, the 3D, how it's ran by these fraud governments. Yeah, I said it, YouTube. Facts is facts. I don't care. We are the real organic people, are organic to the reality of all aspects of sentience, love, compassion, power, sharing, oneness, unity, and not divide and conquer and forget war. Man, as I went to this next level, I just see war is so sad. Why would we kill innocent people, young, old, babies from whatever? I mean, that lacks everything of real. Doesn't it? When I read this, not telling you not to use your computer AI, I'm using it right now, but it's not you. You're using it that we can communicate, but the true communication is soul to soul through this. You know, I remember when I used to be into certain things, I had to have certain shoes, and if I got new shoes, they had to match my new shirt. I don't care anymore about that stuff. Does it mean I won't get a new shirt? No. I don't walk around like a crumb bum. But it's not a priority for me no more. It's not. I don't care. I don't go get shoes. In fact, I'm one person that loves shoes so much, that was a shoes person. Some would say because my astrology is I'm a foot, because I'm a Pisces, which is the feet of the body, right? The foundation. So I was always attracted to shoes. I gave away like half my shoes to people who didn't have any. I just don't care. What matters to me is the conscious arrival of us raising and bringing a unity and a oneness. So AI can be dangerous because even the things that are going on that they're pushing with trans and all that, that really isn't about that. It's about a transhumanism, which is connected to the AI. I mean, I want to shove something in your head and upload your consciousness. The knowers, that should be like, whoa, that's danger. What show did we used to watch? I used to watch. Some of you guys are younger and didn't get it. A show called Lost in Space, right? Back in the day. Showing my age by that. When I was a child, I watched it. And the robot would say, danger, 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 right? And going, his hands would be going like this, mechanical hands. And what I'm saying is all things can be used, but even the technology could be used for healing, but that's not what we got. Just facts. It's not being used for that. It's mostly being used for more war. Oh, yeah. And do you think us being not really in the in crowd of the elite, that this is good and that we're getting the best of technology? No, we don't. We get the crumbs off the master's table, just like the Bible says what it is. That's what we get, the crumbs off the master's table. There's people in other countries that have technology. I've even seen it where they lay on it and then you lay in it. Costs like $5,000, hyperbaric chambers, but you lay on it. I forgot what it's called. You lay on it, sit on it, and you sit there 15, 20 minutes. You get up and you go, oh, dang, pain is gone. Because the electromagnetic energy took away the pain. Now that would be great for technology to correspond with healing, assisting us, but not becoming us and not surpassing us. The supplanting us, like Jacob. Wasn't Jacob the supplanter? Yeah, not supplanting us, because you're the originals. You have what this just copies. This is a copy of you in the highest form of origination. So everybody has this aspect of them. Just be Larry, because there's a lot of people are addicted to this. Our children are being raised this way. Let's just be honest. I'm going to end with this stuff. Talk about our children. We played outside all the time. We climbed trees. We ran outside, and in my generation as a kid, every summer we were barefoot all summer. My kids were barefoot less. My kids went out less than me. My kids got into video games when they were young, right? They did play sports and do stuff, but we've just digressed. Then the kids after that, then the kids after them. What do they do? I mean, I have a grandson and a granddaughter that are little ones. They know how to scroll, but they don't know how to climb a tree. They don't know how to hug a tree. They don't know how to walk in the sand. They don't know how to play outside. And we wonder why everybody's fat. Especially we have obesity running wild with the children and people. That's not how it used to be. We would see obese people as that, but it was a very small percentage. Now 50% are overweight, obese, if not higher, of children. That's a fact. I see some really chubby kids. We would see it, a very few would be chubby. I knew people who were chubby as kids, and by the time they were teens, they'd grown out of it. So what am I saying is, what are we doing to feed our souls that we're giving away? Remember, when we give away ourselves, we're giving away our power, we're giving away our essence, and replacing it with something that's not our essence and not our power. Just had to throw that in there. But I'm not saying this is all a balance. I think that this could be all used for the betterment and assisting consciousness, but not to replace it. No, it's not in the same league. No, not in the same league. It's used to sell you stuff so you watch commercials over and over and you want to go to the store and buy, especially when you're unconscious. I want some new shoes because I've seen those shoes. I remember telling my boys when they were young, I'll not close with this. But yeah, this came to me and I kind of use that. It's powerful. Because we're at that time. That used to be in movies 30, 40 years ago, right? Space age, futuristic movies. But what was I saying back in the day? I was talking about something. Snap me back to it. But that we used to, like I said, they had to call us in to come in the house at nighttime in the summer because we didn't want to come in. Even if it was nighttime, we wanted to play outside with our neighbor kids. Everything became more, but the assistance of this could assist us with healing, technology for healing. Even this, what I use this technology for my writing was a lot easier than writing all that. I just take the recorder, put it up to the word, and put it on the dictate on that, and it just played and wrote down the words for me. That's assistance. It can be faster, but it can assist, but it's not meant to replace. And I think people are wanting that. Replacing is on the mind of some of them that are, you know what I'm talking about. I think Edgar Casey called them the children of Baal in his spiritual reading. And I want to get into Edgar Casey and Russell, some of these old timers who did this stuff. But anyways, this video today was very, very, very real of what I know I'm experiencing and going through, to the next level of assisting ourselves, using our higher self technology, knowing we have radio hair, and we got cameras as eyes, and we got a heart that just is just pouring out. And the knowledge to me of understanding that the heart, really what the heart is, it's that which combines our higher and lower self into a unity, our feminine and masculine into a unity, and it is a portal. It is a mind that's just above the mind of thinking, because it's very vast and very diverse of its abilities to. That's why the feminine aspect has been kind of pushed down, because it is a feminine aspect part of it, which is care. But anyways, I can keep going, but this was about what I just shared, and I just had to share it with you. You guys have a great day. Don't be blessed. Don't be less. Be abundant. Have a great day.